What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's up, dude?
Chilling, baby, man. You know, big matchup coming up, man. I'm keeping hope alive. I hope you're keeping hope alive as well. 15-1.
I think they say it a lot in the business, but this one's a must-win.
Ooh, we're there now. It's time.
This one's no joke. I heard dudes on ESPN saying for some teams, "Oh, this week 2 matchups a must-win."
A must-win.
But like, all right, this is gonna be the 4th game. We're 0-3. This is must-win.
It's a must-win.
This is against the Bengals.
First divisional opponent.
Monday night
Prime time.
Come on, we gotta win.
Must win.
You're right. This is a big matchup.
Huge matchup, man. And in the words of Coach Thomas, it's a 5-star matchup. That's what it is, man. It's a 5-star matchup. All right, so
well, see, I don't know if do you think 5-star matchup equals must win?
Well, every matchup is a 5-star matchup when the Steelers are in it, but this in particular is a must win on top of being a 5-star matchup because they can't go on for it, man.
Well, I'm just thinking from the outside looking in, though, we got 2 0-3 teams. Like, I don't think
it's still 5-star. I guarantee, from a rating standpoint, more people are going to tune in to that Monday night game because the Steelers are playing.
True.
Versus the people that are probably going to tune in and watch that Browns and Ravens game. That's how it is, man.
True. That is fair. Yeah.
Yeah. The Steelers, the Cowboys, and the Patriots are the 3 teams that pretty much no matter what's going on with their team, people are going to tune in, whether you love them or you hate them.
I don't know about Patriots. If they lose Brady.
Well, we won't know right now.
Yeah,
but
it's been
throughout the past decade. Yeah, the past decade, the Cowboys are the same. It's been times where the Cowboys were really good. It's been times where the Cowboys were really bad. But either way, people are tuning in. Mm-hmm. They're the lightning rod teams, man.
That's what I'm saying. Patriots would be interesting. I'd say Cowboys, Steelers, Packers.
See, people say the Packers, but maybe it's because where I've been living on the East Coast, I haven't seen that.
Really?
I haven't, man. I see Cowboys like crazy. I see Steelers like crazy. And obviously this decade we've seen a ton of Patriots. Okay. But I keep hearing people talk about the Packers. They also talk about the Bears. I'm just like, I don't see that. I personally don't.
I guess I'm thinking more of terms of the fan base. They're going to be rolling with their squad, showing up even if the team's losing. Yes. But you're probably saying more like nationwide.
Right, nationwide. Like the Green Bay fan base though. Yes, they are. They got their little section.
They say this about the Browns fans too, because they've been so dismal, but they're like, oh, those are the most loyal fans. Well, I don't know. I haven't been up to Browns games. Well, I was going to say in
Buffalo, they are crazy diehard because it was times we're 0-8 and they're still showing up, sending people through tables, doing all type of reckless stuff.
But like, is the Browns thing fake news? Like, is the stadium? I don't know
because the only time
like pit games.
So this is my thing. The only time I've been there for like the 3rd game of the season when they had Trent Richardson, Brandon Weeden. So it was a lot of optimism about them. I was in Buffalo then. It was packed, but we still won. Then I've been there on a Thursday night primetime game. And that was like one of the first like Thursday night games when they started that initiative again. So that was packed. And then anytime I went over there with the Steelers, it's packed because of the Steeler fans, though. Gotcha. So that's why I'm just kind of like, I don't know if it's really Browns fans. I know there's a ton of Steeler fans every time we go to. I see the terrible towels just waving. I'm like, okay, here we go, baby. Here we go. Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, the thing I will say though, there was points with the Steelers. I don't want to badmouth our fans, but like some of those 8-8 years.
Talk about a D.
I remember
D calling y'all out, man.
Do you remember this? I don't know if you were on the.
I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not a part of any 8-8s here, man.
Oh man, because like
division championships and winning records.
It was the Lions game where Calvin Johnson like went berserk.
That was the Bumblebee jerseys,
right? Yeah, like. I think people were selling tickets for really cheap, and then if you looked at the stadium, it was kind of empty.
Oh, no.
I don't know what we were at the time, maybe like 2-6.
Oh no!
Like, I think that's just
Yikes.
We're spoiled.
I was saying Buffalo, man. I will never forget my rookie year. We're playing the day after Christmas, December 26th, versus the New England Patriots. It's cold as heck. I'm talking like at the time. The turf up there was old, so it was so cold that you couldn't even wear cleats because the field was like frozen. We had no heater system, nothing like that. And I remember, man, we're sitting there probably 3-10, 3-11, something reckless. And those Bill fans were out there full force. I mean, we had shirtless Santa Claus out there, double fisted. for all the kid listeners out there, he was drinking Christmas drinks. You know what I mean? Christmas juice. Yeah. But bro, when I saw that fan base, I was like, okay, yeah, y'all a whole nother level of like dedicated. And I do tell people all the time, like, it's easy to support winning teams. Like Patriots fans, it's easy to support the Patriots right now. Let's see how it is in another 5-10 years, right? Mm-hmm. With them losing programs though, them losing teams, it's a whole nother level of commitment.
Right.
Because it could look like Jacksonville. Jacksonville Stadium is like always empty. But Buffalo, Cleveland, from what I've seen thus far, it's like, yo, y'all gotta tip my cap to them, man.
Right.
Hopefully we don't have to experience what that's really.
No,
like
I was gonna say
man.
you'll see if my story rings true here.
I'm hoping that we
like
don't, man.
2-6, and
I'm hoping that we
see
don't.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, because all I'm saying is like you said, you're spoiled, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I just laugh at the amount of people that, and we're not
because I think it's more like, it's not like people don't care. It's just like, man, bump this.
Right.
Like, let me know when we got a good product.
Absolutely. Well, and this is my thing too. When we talk about how spoiled the fans are here, I just laugh at the amount of people that are always calling for somebody to get fired after a couple bad games. Like, yo, fire this coach, cut this player. And I'm like, y'all really don't understand how good y'all have it here. I'm like, I was in Buffalo where, oh, we fired a coach after 2 years. Oh, they fired another coach after 1 year. Oh, we fired another coach after another 2 years.
Rotating
where you're firing defensive coordinators, you're firing offensive coordinators during the season, firing quarterbacks during the season. I'm like, you know what that gets you? 0-8. You know what that gets you? Oh, what? Best year 6-10. Okay, yo, hey. It sounds good. Keep talking. Hey, man, fire this. Hey, fire Coach T. Fire Keith Butler. Fire Randy Fiegner. Man, we need a new quarterback. We need this. We need. All right. I'm just letting y'all know from personal experience. 9 years in the league, 5 of them was for bad teams. Okay? 5 of these years. 5 years I was a part of organizational changes in terms of GMs, in terms of coaches, in terms of key players. It don't work out well. So it's for every person that's like, well, the Penguins, they fired their coach in the middle of the season. See how that worked out. For every one Pittsburgh Penguins team that fires their head coach and they win the Stanley Cup that year or they win the Super Bowl that year, it's like 90,000 other ones that don't.
Well, hockey's just different. I think NHL general, and NBA, they're different.
I'm just telling you, man. Don't, hey.
Because when does that happen? That never happens in the NFL. Coach gets fired middle of the season. Team does well. Browns last year, but no team just goes out and wins.
But for every one, even with the Browns, for that one time that worked out, how many times have we seen other things where it doesn't work out? And that's typically how it is. So I'm like, yo, just all right. Yeah, y'all don't hear me though.
Well, here's the thing with that one too. Mm-hmm. Like, he was 3-30 or something. Like, I think that was time. I think everyone.
Hey, man. Just letting people know, man. Right. For every one that it does work, it's a ton where it doesn't work.
Right.
That's all I'm saying, man. Because people quick to bring it up. Oh, man, well, what about that time? Okay. Can you name another time, though? Nah. My point exactly. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. I just caution y'all. It's caution. That's it.
That's fine.
And it's not like I haven't cautioned people before.
You've cautioned me. Yeah.
You know, I see it differently.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But back to this 5-star matchup, man.
Let's get to it.
Bengals coming into Hinesfield on a Monday night. Come on, baby. You know how we do. It's Pittsburgh, baby.
Well, the narrative is out there. Dalton does not perform well in primetime. Mm-hmm. I was looking up the stats. I think the article was from last year. I don't know how many primetime games they played, but he was either 5-19. I don't know if they were including playoff games in that.
Well, they're terrible in playoffs.
Or then there was another one that was 5-14. So I'm assuming they were including playoffs in that 5-19 record. So that was beginning of last year. That was his record. So I think that plays into our favor very much.
Yeah, I agree, man. When you look at their offense in particular, it's predicated around Joe Mixon. Mm-hmm. Joe Mixon is the guy who makes it goes. Tyler Boyd is the next guy. But when Joe Mixon has great games or he's producing both in the running game and the passing game, that offense moves. When he's not doing anything, that offense looks bad. Nobody respects Dalton's arm, man. Dalton is like, I don't want to disrespect Eli Manning, but Dalton's like the Eli Manning of the AFC North, man. Just throw it up to, a dope receiver over here with AJ Green, a really good receiver in Tyler Boyd, or give it to Joe Mixon. I mean, Dalton, he has numbers when you look at stats, but they're nothing crazy.
Well, we talked about this with fantasy football, garbage time hero. Like I think he's probably a pretty good fantasy quarterback right now, but not a winning football quarterback. But
he's not terrible though.
Well, I brought this up to you last week after we were done recording the podcast. We were talking about having weapons and receivers and like how important that is. Like Dalton, like the Bengals should be crazy good then.
Yeah.
Because of like they have unreal weapons.
They do, but
Mixon,
when AJ
Boyd,
comes
Ross,
back,
and Green, Tyler Eifert at tight end.
But hold on now, Ross. Let's slow it down
As
a little bit.
your third receiver.
Okay.
As your third receiver.
All I'm saying is people talk about Moncrief and his drops. John Ross, man. He catches one every 4. Now the thing is though, the one that he does catch, he gonna hit it like 20, 30. It's gonna be a splash play. But my man drops some 2-3 yards, just easy passes. Yeah.
No, I'm not the biggest believer in him. And you know what?
I like his speed, but man, his hands.
You know what's crazy is I realize this. I've watched every Bengals game thus far this year. I feel like I know this team because
they playing the teams that absolutely.
And unfortunately, I have seen. I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately, but Ross has.
You know who he reminds me of? You remember the movie The Little Giants?
I do. I don't remember.
Oh
it,
man, so
vividly though.
So it's the kid who's a receiver, little black kid, and he can't catch anything. With the stick, he's like, "Come on, guys, don't do this to me now. Come on!" And he's like, "Yo, just try to catch the ball." And everything. Like that's who John reminds. His hand
stuck to his jersey?
With the stickum, And then he started like learning how to catch with the toilet paper and stuff, like trying to get better with his hands. But that's who John reminds me of, man. John's like, "Come on, guys, don't do this to me today." Like,
with that being said, I'm pretty sure he's top 5 in receiving right now.
He might be, but if you look like,
but that's what I'm saying. As a third receiver, obviously they don't have Green right now, but that's having some weapons, I guess.
And Eifert, he's living off the name right now. He's not the same player. The injuries have definitely slowed him down. Like when you used to watch him a couple years ago, he was scary. Now he's a shell of himself, but he can still catch. He's short-handed. But like I said, the biggest thing when you look at them though, their O-line definitely has some issues, the tackles in particular. Big Dre, my former teammate, former rival as well, man, Andre Smith. Hey, he's definitely towards the back end now, and he's starting to slow down as well.
He's had a crazy career.
Yeah,
I keeps going
back and forth to Cincy, away, come back to Cincy, man.
I remember when he got drafted out of Alabama. Yeah, like he was the guy.
Yeah, one of the thing with Dre too, man. It's like you got people when they're like, "Hey, man, you probably eating too much. You want to get that big." He embraces it. He's like, "So what on fat? What you gonna say? I don't care. You're on fat. I'm rich though." And that's just Dre. So it's like I love a guy that loves himself. You know what I mean? So I be like, Dre, if you like it, man, I love it, man. It's whatever. So anytime I see him, I'm like, come on, man. If you just a little bit, man, you probably be back nice again. But you know what? This week, don't be back nice. Eat extra. I'm gonna send him a care package of cookies. So then that way, you know what I'm saying, our passengers can go ahead and have a great day.
Yeah. But no, you bring up a good point because the first 2 games, they couldn't do anything running the ball. Mixon was not doing anything. Did Mixon even play the second game? Was he hurt?
Well, he played, but he wasn't healthy though.
Yeah,
because remember that Seahawks game, he hurt his ankle going into the third quarter, so he missed the rest of that rest of the third quarter and the fourth. Then he comes back and plays that second week versus San Fran, but he could tell he was like still gimpy out there. But he looked good versus Buffalo.
I was going to say, last week he had like a Le'Veon Bell type of stat line.
Oh, yeah. 60 rushing, 60, 70 rushing, another 50, 60 receiving.
Yeah, touchdown. Yeah, he looked very good. But I think a lot of those, if I can remember right, were coming kind of later in the game where Buffalo was up.
No. So, like, with that game, though, it was never, like, out of control. Like, Buffalo started out, they were at 14 zip in the first half. And then since he scores quick in the second half, makes it 7-14. Then they come back, make it 14-14, then take the lead. They went up. They scored 17 unanswered.
Yeah, and then Josh Allen had the game-winning drive.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with their defense. They looked pretty stout against the Seahawks a little bit. And then this one, they looked pretty good against Josh Allen. So they were getting pressure on him, forcing him.
The thing too with Josh, if they just would bring him down, a lot of his plays would never happen. Dunlap,
he looked like Ben. Yeah, it was crazy. He looked like
they would have
Ben.
him, and then he would just escape and start running and throw and do whatever. Yeah, but even with him, man, I do like you said, young Ben. I think he could be good, man.
Like I saw.
He does.
Oh my gosh.
He still has to. Every once in a while, he makes the bonehead play.
Well, you saw that with the pick. They rushed
like,
him
bro,
out.
you have no need to do that. And that's my only thing with him. I'm just like, yo, if you could just take away the bonehead play, bro, you could really be good. Because like his accuracy has went up a ton from last year to this year, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in terms of, let's start with the Steelers offensive matchup versus their defense.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything glaring that really sticks out that we should be worried about, is there? As long as we play our parts,
I think the
line plays well, and
that's a couple things that the Steelers offensively need to do. Number one, they got to protect the ball. Like, you can't have the turnovers. That's what killed them last week. Obviously, James Conner's fumble at the end, but then Mason's interception. You don't need that. Just throw the ball away or take the sack. When you lose your talent, we talked about this, like how the margin of error like gets smaller. You can't afford to just give away possessions. You got to make sure that you're keeping the ball as often as you can, as long as you can. So cutting down on the turnovers is going to be huge for them. Even though it was 2 last week, there were 2 critical ones, and that was the difference in the game.
Really poor timing.
Right. So you got to minimize that. And the next thing, like I said, it starts with Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap. You saw those guys were getting pressure on Josh Allen last week. That can't happen to Mason. Mason needs to have time to throw the ball. He needs to have time to go through his reads, make good throws. So, the thing is, our O-line has been playing, up until last week, they were playing well in terms of pass blocking. They have to step up versus those guys because that Bengals defense didn't do anything spectacular. Outside of those 2 players, that Bengals defense wasn't really doing anything.
No,
man.
Yeah, there's nothing that really concerns
the Bills were
me
moving the ball on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even your boy Frank Gore, man. I'm watching. I'm like, bro, he looks so old and so slow, but he's just getting his little yards. I know you love him. You're swearing by Frank right now, man.
I'm talking in terms of fantasy.
Hey, I'm just if
someone's
Frank,
getting the workload for a team, he's valuable in fantasy.
I'm looking at Frank like, bro, you look so old out here, but you get your little 5, you got your little 6 over here. I saw one play, man.
He broke off some runs.
Yeah, but he had one that was like a 20-yarder, and I'm like, yo, if that's any other running back, it's a touchdown, bro. Just look. But hey, yo, shout out to him, man. The fact that he's still doing it at that age, man, I gotta tip my cap, man.
Yeah.
Major respect. But that shit, every time I see it, and I'm like, that's Deke guy right there, man. That's Deke boy. I'll put Frank Gore with the 15-1, man. I just leave that over there. I don't want none of that, and I'm cool, man.
Oh man. Wait, so what does he need to do to technically prove you wrong? I'm talking in terms of fantasy.
And see, this is my issue. This is why I think it took me so long to get into fantasy too. Because I just,
dude, he had I think he had 80 yards in a touchdown.
Right, so for fantasy, that's good for fantasy. But I'm like, bro, no, what? I feel like it changes your whole logic. It's like saying, hey, this green light, that means to stop, and this red light means to go. Right. That's what I feel when we talk fantasy. I'm like, Andy Dalton, why would I want Andy Dalton? That's a red light to me. And you're like, no, for fantasy, he's straight. I'm like, what? No, it's Andy Dalton. Stop this.
Some years he's not, but this year so far he is. Yeah.
Man. So that's why I still have to get used to this stuff, man, because this is, mind blowing to me. I'm like, yo, Frank, no, Meryl. No, I can't do it. But, man, like you said, with that Bengals defense, though, man, in all seriousness, I don't think that they're very good in terms of just having the playmakers out there. William Jackson, the corner, he's pretty good.
Drake
Kirkpatrick.
Yep.
But outside of those guys, Geno and Carlos are the ones who make that defense go. They're linebackers. I think Preston's over there now, came from Buffalo as well.
Almost sounds like our defense. 2 solid corners, and we're pretty solid up front with that D
No,
tackle.
That's what we're going on with our defense?
Nah, bro.
Dang. Wow.
Nah, bro, not like that.
That's where we're going. I'm just saying, if we're looking on paper, now granted our team hasn't played up to par. But wait a minute.
I like our guys way better.
Holy cow.
I'm just saying, thus far.
That's blasphemous,
bro.
So hold on. Are you comparing Preston Brown? No, I think it's Nick Virgil and who's their other linebacker over there? Oh,
I'm not. It's not like that.
That just feels so nasty.
No, I'm not
I just feel so unclean.
I'm just saying, this is kind of what we've talked about from our squad. We've had like Tuitt play well.
Yeah.
The front play a little well, and then the corners have been kind of let down. A little bit more question marks with the LBs and safeties. Minka played pretty solid.
But this is the thing that I think is the biggest difference. When we talk
I feel like we have a lot more hope and potential.
Well, that's
and
what I'm
talent.
saying. Like, our talent is way better. They have to live up to it. Whereas the Bengals players, they could play their best and it still won't be to the level that these guys could be to if they play their best.
That's all I'm saying.
It didn't come out like that, though. It definitely didn't. You were like, oh, they're just like us. Like, what? Hold on. Huh? Where? Help me. Please help me. That's all I'm saying. Drake Kirkpatrick's best day, I'm still taking Minka. That's all I'm saying.
He's a safety? I thought he was a corner.
So he's been playing safety with them.
Really?
Well, William Jackson's been playing the corner spot for them.
Who's their other corner then?
I don't know. Let's look it up. Yeah. Oh, no, I stand corrected. Okay. Yeah. So they have Sean Williams playing strong, Jesse Bates at free, Kirkpatrick and Jack. Okay. Well, sweet thing. Boom. All right.
Dude, if you have any questions while you're watching the games, just text me.
Oh, word.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
like
fair enough, man.
If you need to know who's playing quarterback or safety.
Okay. All right. I like it. Let's roll in. But anywho, they all suck. How about that? Yeah.
I'm good.
I like it. So now you saying let's see.
I borderline feel accomplished there. Just know,
you do?
Just because I just knowing a little bit that
okay.
You slipped up there.
I slipped up there
a little bit.
Okay, if you say so, then baby, I like it. Let's roll.
Well, the depth chart could be wrong.
I'm not worried about it. Okay, I'm not, because like I said, I've seen Minka line up at slot corner. Does that mean he's a corner?
True.
That's all I'm saying. It's cool. True. Hey, we ain't worried. Let's go, baby. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
All right. But all right. So moving on to the opposite matchup. Then.
Yeah.
The Steelers defense versus the Bengals offense.
Absolutely.
I think we kind of try to do what the Seahawks did, right?
And what is that?
We make Dalton beat us. Just try to go all out and stop the run.
Well, you did say they got weapons at receivers, though.
True.
You said John Ross, man. You said Tyler Eifert. You said Tyler Boyd. You sure about that?
Yeah.
You said our safeties are struggling outside of Minka. You said our linebackers aren't good. You said our linebackers are like the Bengals. That's what you told me. I'm just saying, that's what you told me, man. You said we got two good corners.
You're right.
Good interior linemen.
Well, that's the thing. We could let Dalton put up those fantasy numbers, those 300-400 yards. But
300-400 yards.
Well, that's what he did against the Seahawks. The Seahawks still won, and Dalton still made them.
But did you see how they won though?
Right.
That wasn't a confident they won. And it wasn't a confident, let's let Dalton make the mistake. we're making on the rain to play a role in this thing, man, because that was the only reason why he threw an interception. The rain, the ball was wet, and it literally just slips out his head, and they're on like the 15-yard line.
True.
You want to play with that fire?
True.
That's fire. I don't like those odds.
I think that'd be the first priority though. If you're
okay.
If you're talking priorities, I'd say stop the run first.
You got to stop Joe Mixon. But how do you do that though? Because last week they ain't stopped the run. And that's the biggest thing, right? We have to figure out ways to stop that.
hey man, you're the athlete, right?
Stop that, man. You're the expert, man.
I only know the depth chart too, man. You stack an extra person in the box and you call a blitz. That's what I know.
So put an extra man on this blitzer, man. We'll be all right. I like it. But no, in all seriousness though, man, like it's really gonna come down to, I think, Javon Hargrave, Cam, and Tuitt. Those are the dudes who got to control that interior part of the line. When you look at like the runs that Joe especially like excels in, he's very Le'Veon-esque in his style. But I think I mean, just from an athlete standpoint, I think he does do some things better because he's faster as well. And I mean, Le'Veon's a big back, but I think Joe actually is a little bit bigger. So when I just think about that, man, those three interior dudes have to clog that up and make him go lateral. If you make him go lateral, now you got the opportunities to get him down. If he's just going downhill, it's going to be a long day. And especially with our interior linebackers, with Vince still being, out potentially with the hamstring, you're looking at Devin Bush and Mark Barron having to hold up versus that big back, whereas one was a former safety and one's an undersized linebacker. You don't want them playing that game like that.
Right.
That's not the one we want them to do, man.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like we kind of know what needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
Like the Steelers got to establish the run. We've stopped the run.
Absolutely.
And I mean, limit the turnovers.
But for the defense, we got to create turnovers, man.
So you were bringing this up then with Dalton having, I don't know if you were just messing with me, Dalton having the weapons.
Yeah.
Like, are you concerned about that then if we do sell out to stop the run too much?
I'm not really concerned about it. I think from a defensive standpoint, you have to continue to create turnovers. That's been the one thing that they've been able to do the Seahawks game and the 49ers game. Granted, the 5 is an inflated 5, but they still did create, I say, two true turnovers.
Yep.
And that was on par with what they did last week versus Seahawks. So continue that thing, because the more you get Mason the ball, the more you get the offense the ball, the better it's going to be. Now, Dalton, he's going to make some throws. He does have some players out there. Now, when we talk about them being weapons, I always laugh because I'm like, I consider weapons like A.J. Green. He's scary. I consider a weapon like Joe Mixon. He's scary. Tyler Boyd, this is the weird way I try to describe him. I feel like he's a really good number 2, but not a number 1 receiver.
Right.
And some people might say the same with Juju. They say like he's a great number 2 and probably average number 1. Like Tyler Boyd is like, I feel like a poor man's version of that. Like he's gonna get open, he's gonna make some catches and stuff like that, but he doesn't scare me. John Ross, if he could catch consistently, that's the one. The thing is, like, he 50-50. Like he might catch it, he might drop it.
Right.
I'm a betting man. I'll take my chances with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the biggest thing, man, like the running game though. That's if Joe Mixon gets going, because now that sets up their play action pass, that sets up the boost, that sets up everything they want to do. And for Joe, what he does in the screen game too, he had a big, I think it was like a 30-40 yard gain on a screen play versus the Bills last week. So that's the stuff where you just kind of like, all right, let's make sure that you find ways to minimize him, whether it's, like I said, the 3 interior guys keeping that inside clogged, and then anytime he's going anywhere, I personally want to have Devin like following him. Like, I don't even want to play that game of, oh, let's just zone him up. Oh, it's a screen, go over there. Like, no. Devin, if you see him, go get him. Because he's a dude, like, once he gets going, he's a load to bring down. Like, I don't like playing against him.
No, I
personally don't like playing against him.
I wouldn't either. So what? So would he be in like the top 5 running backs you don't like playing against?
In this current generation, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's up there. Absolutely.
So I'm trying to think back. You had Elliott as 1 though, right?
Well, yeah, like for me, we're talking about like this season.
Okay.
Like when I was playing against the guys, it was always going to be Le'Veon, Zeke, then it would be Gurley. Those like my top 3. And then just depending on what year it was, could dictate the other 2. Right now, though, Joe Mixon's definitely in there. But when I played Joe, he was a rookie. Gotcha. So it was still like a different vibe. But you could see like he had certain qualities about him that you're like, okay, I can see that growing into that. And then last year, I thought he did do really well, showing what he could do when he was healthy. So now you're like, okay, you're starting to see him come into his own more so now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what is your projection or predictions for the game?
Well, I think, like I said, this is definitely one that they win. I think it's the must win, but I do think they win. I think the matchups are very similar in terms of what they do well, what we do well. But the biggest thing is more self-centered. Like, I felt like last week versus the Niners, it was a whole bunch of, we got to worry about this, dude. We got to make sure you stop that. You got to make sure you do this and do that. This week, I think it's more so, don't turn the ball over. You'll be fine. Defensively, you stop that run, you'll be fine. And these are all like self things. It's not like you're trying to do something that's so crazy. It's not like AJ Green's like, we're like, hey, take away AJ Green. Like, how? You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that.
That's what my thoughts are on it too. It's just like, I feel like it's on us.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, the Bengals are the Bengals.
Absolutely.
So
they're the little brother.
Right.
Period. Like, no matter how big the little brother gets, no matter how confident the little brother gets, they're still little brother. Like, that's just how it goes, man. It's the truth, man. You know how it is.
So what's your score projection?
Oh, man. Say 24-21.
Okay. Yeah. I see it a little more low scoring, 2017 Steelers.
Okay, 2017. I could dig that. Because the biggest thing when I look at this matchup, I'm just saying to myself, the Steelers can win doing what they do, but the Steelers have also been giving up a ton of yardage. I think like right now, throughout the first 3 games, like the amount of yards they've given up, if they kept this pace going, it would be like record breaking, something crazy. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to break that record. But those are the things where it's kind of like, all right, they got to stop that run and they got to stop the bleeding. Like the third down conversions are killing both sides of it. And time possession is crazy too. Like you can just tell like it's completely unbalanced because the offense isn't converting third downs and the defense is being able to get off the field. So it's just a bad combination right there.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So those are the things. It's like, we gotta find a way. You gotta find a way, man. Would you say that magic just happens? Like just it's gonna click. Like can you sprinkle some of that magic on Monday? Like we need that, man. I'm serious. Cause this is
If 7 was back there, I'd say it
like
definitely
holy cow,
coming.
man. That's the only thing that concerns me. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why can't we do that? So it's wild, man.
I think the talent will show up.
I hope so too. And matter of fact, speaking of talent, we added some talent, right? Yeah. Shout out to Kevin Colbert, Mr. Wheeling and Dealing, Mr. doing what he has to do to keep the Steelers' hopes and dreams alive. So this week he trades 5th round pick for the 2020 draft to the Seahawks for their tight end Nick Vannett, 4th year play out of Ohio State. Check out the stats for this year. 4 receptions, 38 yards, 0 touchdowns. But he did have a big catch versus us. Week 2, the catch he made across the middle of the field, Sean Davis blast him. He held on to the ball. So I did like that element.
What's your take on the trade?
Well, the fact that Vance is questionable with the shoulder injury and they moved Xavier Grimble to injury reserve for a calf injury, we don't really have options.
We don't have any.
It's either you going hoping that Vance can play or finish the game, or Zach Gentry, who didn't really look impressive throughout the preseason. Yeah, if we needed somebody, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I do like the fact that when we're talking about the Dobbs trade, because it's essentially that 5th round pick for Dobbs. People was like, "Yo, trade for this, so we need tight ends, we need that." Essentially, you make that trade, and now you get this tight end. He's not the world beater, but he is a body. He's a tight end. It's just the mixed reviews, though. Like, that's the fandom. That's the thing that I was talking like, yo, like, what's going on here? What's going on here? People want one thing, you get the one thing, and they're like, I don't want that thing no more, man. Why would you trade that away? You ain't got no draft picks. I'm like, yo, I can't, bro. I don't know how y'all live like this. Like, in the football world, we don't live like this, man. Like, this drives me nuts. I'm becoming more aware of these things, man. The more I see it, it's like, oh, okay. So you want it. No, you don't want it. Okay, you want Ben. You don't want Ben. Okay, got you. Mason's franchise. Mason's not the franchise. Okay, I got you guys. All right. It makes my head hurt, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I needed a bigger name.
Jeez. But then if we gave him a bigger draft pick, you're like, yo, what are you doing?
Exactly. Honestly, I don't know what tight end would have been out there for us to scoop.
That you were going to get for a 5th round pick?
Well, I mean, a 3rd rounder would have been like, I probably would have went to 3rd round for a tight end here, and then we could have. Like,
why just 3rd round?
Even when Vance comes back, then we have nice double tight end sets and pretty lethal there.
Yeah,
gets the running game going.
Well, I think that's what has been hurting them from a running game standpoint too. In the past, they've been able to have a Jesse and a Vance, or even Rosie. They use him as well, but with those guys, Jesse obviously being gone through free agency, and then Rosie being hurt. That's kind of changed the dynamic of that offense.
Yeah, I'm thinking like someone like Delaney Walker or something like that would have been.
And
nice.
What was you giving up for a 3rd? That's it.
No, but
go try that on Madden and see if they accept that, man.
In all seriousness, yeah, I think we needed to do that for everything that you said. We are lacking in tight end right now with McDonald being hurt and, like you said, Gentry not being too impressive. It seems like he is more there for the blocking aspect.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
From his numbers, I would. I haven't seen him too much yet, so I'm obviously gonna have to start looking him up and checking him out. But yeah, his numbers, they don't really scream receiving threat.
Mm.
Yeah,
but you do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad because for a while I saw the next thing where the fans were like, who we got this a tight end? Jalen Samuels. He played tight end at NC State. I'm like, oh, stop. Why? What are you doing? Why? Stop the madness, please. These the same fans I see when they're like, oh man, I remember when Ryan was playing, they were like, why don't you move Ryan Shazier to safety, man? He's fast, he can run, he runs 4.3. I'm like, stop it, stop. No, God dang it, stop.
So with the tight end though, I guess the Steelers must have seen something in him in Seattle, maybe when we played him. Is there something to that?
No, I don't really think
so. Is it a coincidence or?
Nah, I think it's more coincidence than anything. The scouting department, they scout and watch film on every player in the league. They have detailed reports on every player, regardless if you're playing against that team or not. That's all they do 24/7, just watch film on players' personnel, because if somebody gets released, if somebody becomes available, whatever it may be, you need to know who they are, how good they are, and can they help your team, and what you think it will potentially cost to acquire them. Mm-hmm. So I think it was more just a coincidence, because let's be real, in that game, did you see anything special that made you say?
I don't even remember that catch.
Exactly.
I remember the other tight end scoring.
Right. Yes. Yeah. What was it? Disley. Yeah. That's what I remember. Nobody remember this dude. But when you talk about like the scouting department, they saw something in them, so I'm gonna trust them. They get paid to do that. I get paid to talk on the mic. You know what I mean? And figure out who plays what for who and all that. And shout out 15-1. That's my job. That's what I get paid to do. You feel me?
Here's hoping he does well.
He's gonna help us get to 15-1.
It's too late, man.
All right. It's not too late. You know why? Because let's see, they played 3 games so far, right?
Right.
So getting the number 1 overall seed is probably unlikely, but a wild card win, a division win,
so like 15-3,
AFC Championship win, and then you gotta get the Super Bowl, man. Just throwing it out there, man. Yeah.
So you're saying as long as we hit 15 wins?
Yeah, you gotta get 15 somehow. Just run the tables. That's all you gotta do.
Okay.
I'm with you, bro.
That's fair.
Keep hope alive.
I'm trying, dude. Oh yeah, hope this guy does well. Hopefully we win and we keep rolling. So
all right, so 15-1, I'm believing you, man. I'm with you, bro.
All right.
So what does a win mean?
Okay.
For the Steelers this week, bro?
I don't know, dude. I'm like I said on the last podcast, I'm pretty down. Like even if we win, I mean, I would actually feel more hopeful. Obviously, we do have to win, but that needs to go along with the Ravens losing.
Now, why do you want the Ravens to lose versus like Cleveland losing?
So they could both be 2-2.
Okay.
And then we're 1-3.
Okay.
Try to even everything out.
And then what happens when we play them?
Why? Because I think at this point, I think the Ravens are better than the Browns. They're more of a threat.
Okay.
So.
And you think that we're better than the Browns right now?
I don't know who we're better than, man. It's just.
Oh man, Deke, that is not the response, Deke. You're supposed to be the confident one. You're supposed to be, hey man, we're better than everybody, bro.
Dude, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, dude, and
you're making me nervous, man.
I'm always hopeful. Like, I'm gonna be hopeful on a week to week basis, but
oh my god, on a week to week. Okay,
that's what you're asking me. What does a win mean? Like I mean, it's against the Bengals, so we got to keep winning. That's
fair enough.
It just means we add a win to our record. Okay. I don't. Unless something crazy happens, like we look completely different from these first 3 games, then it would mean something different.
Okay.
So,
but Kevin Colbert, I mean, he's been making the moves to try to give you that confidence that you need to let him know that, hey, we're not tanking. We're not going forward. We won't go quietly into that night, baby. We're going to keep wheeling and dealing.
Well, for our Around the NFL segment, I have some more suggestions for him, actually.
Oh, so. Lord. All right. And what does a loss mean?
A loss? Oh, man, dude.
It's over.
No words. Speechless.
It's over.
Speechless.
So my question is this though: if they lose this week, but then they turn around and win the next two, would you feel better? Versus if they won this week and then lost the next two, how would you feel?
Nah. Dude, I'm telling you, if we had Ben and we lost even this week, I'd still feel I'd be like, playoffs, wild card. We're gonna make it.
All right.
Even if we win this 1-3, there's still more I gotta see. I feel
fair enough.
Like I'm going off those Ben's whatever it was, 15 years.
Yeah,
we've never been worse than 8-8. We've somehow been in the mix even in those 8-8 seasons. So. This, I don't know. This is uncharted territory for me.
It is. Coach Tomlin's never having a losing record is going to be put to the test this season. I'll tell you that, man. It's going to get interesting, baby. It's going to get real interesting. That's all I got to say.
So you're with me on my sentiments here?
Nah, man. I'm a believer, bro. 15-1, man. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. They asked what Kool-Aid, the Kool-Aid that the Steelers are going to run the table. Yep. Yeah.
You see these dudes are holding it to me too on
because
IG.
Your confidence when you dropped the 15-1, it was like, I'm just being modest. I'm just trying to be humble a little bit here. 15-1, that was like, wow. And you heard me. I'm like, you sure? Like 15-1?
I was.
Yeah.
There are things that I predicted outside of Ben being injured that aren't looking too promising.
Yeah,
like I was saying, because a lot of it was predicated on the defense. I was like, I think this is gonna be the best defense we've had in a while.
And for me, I thought a lot was predicated on Juju and James Conner balling out, and we haven't been seeing that.
Yeah, and that was the thing too, where I don't think AB being gone is gonna be that much missed. But like you said, Juju and James Conner haven't necessarily stepped into those roles yet. But that's what I'm saying. It's a long season. I told you if week 4, week 5, Ben's there, I just feel like something happens.
It's magical.
There's a chemistry thing.
You just hit the light switch, bro.
Yeah,
we're good.
But yeah, so I think there's just more to be seen, no matter what happens, win or lose.
Fair enough.
We'll put it that way.
I like that, man.
But do you want to? So I have.
Let's go around the league, man. Talk about it, man.
Around the league. So first,
we're off the 15-1 train right now, man. Let's do this.
So around the league, and then we'll get into the bet. Yeah. And I have our soundbite.
Yes, good.
From
good. Let's do it.
You're gonna be. I won't even say anything.
What? Now you just let me know right there by saying that. Yeah.
What do you think?
Apparently, then that's what I said. Then apparently. Because you just hinted to that.
You'll see.
No, you just hinted to it. So that lets me know that clearly I was wrong. Because that's how you wouldn't have hinted to that, man. Yeah.
So first thing that happened, I guess not first thing, but just one of the things is Melvin Gordon is stopping his holdout. So what do you think with his decision there? It seems like he lost the holdout.
Oh, absolutely he did. But I figured he was going to lose that as soon as the franchise quarterback. No, when the franchise quarterback, Phillip Rivers, says, I like the guys we got here right now, and we're fine. That let everyone know that, they're not going to pay you because they don't need to now. And they're not going to trade you because they don't have to. Like, they're not losing anything by just keeping you. You're losing money. You're the one who's not getting an opportunity to put that film out there. Like, and your situation isn't like Le'Veon's. He wasn't the same caliber player as Le'Veon. So once that statement was said, it wasn't going to surprise me that he was going to lose that. Now, if Phillip would have went out there and been like, oh, man, we need this guy. We're missing him. That's different. But by him not saying that.
But what if he still didn't sign even with that, with the good things that Phillip said about him?
Well, it's the thing. If you're saying if he would have just held out the whole time, the whole year?
No. So Phillip says that. He says, we need Melvin. He's such a great player. But for whatever reason, the numbers aren't working. And he's still not in there in training camp or preseason. Sits out the first 3-4 weeks. But those 3-4 weeks, the tape's out there where the offense is still moving without you. Yeah. So, no matter what Phillip says, we see it on Sunday.
If Phillip says it, the deal would have got done. The same way when Ben said, hey, I text Ryan Switzer, why can't he be my Julian Edelman? Nobody really believed that Switzer was better than Eli Rogers, right? If we looked athlete for athlete, numbers for numbers, we would all say, you know what? Eli's probably the better player. But who did they keep? Right. Switzer. And who have we talked about that struggled the first game, numbers went down drastically the second game, and didn't even get a target this last game?
Right.
Switzer. But it's something about when your franchise quarterback says, that's my guy, they make sure that guy gets taken care of.
True.
So if Phillip Rivers went on the record and said, hey, we need Melvin. Melvin's my guy. Melvin got the deal done, without a doubt. That's just how it works, man.
Got you. And how much do you think he makes in the offseason? He said he's done. This is last year with the Chargers.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to command?
I don't think it's going to be top 5 at that position, personally.
7-8 million?
What did David Johnson get? He's at what?
He got like 13.
He got 13. So I'll probably say 9.
Okay.
I can get 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Because at the same time as this, well, he has to first off produce like crazy this season, and he has to stay healthy. If he does those 2 things, then yeah, I think he gets the 9. If he has like just an average year, then yeah, 7.
7. Okay. Because right now, off his rookie deal, I looked at it, I think it was like 5.6. Yeah. So that would be a little upgrade then.
Right. But for him, he wants to get paid. He's not going to get paid like that. He's just not that type of player.
Unfortunate. Just the running back position in general. But it's unfortunate.
It's like certain players. I mean, if you're a great player at that position, you look at Le'Veon's contract, you look at Zeke's contract, you look at Gurley's contract. He wants to get paid like those guys, but he's not that caliber player.
Aren't you thinking though the Rams and the Cardinals are having some buyer's remorse though?
People say that. I personally don't. I think when those guys were healthy, more so with Gurley, when he's healthy, he's worth every dime. Like David Johnson, I personally didn't feel that he was on that level, but they wanted to pay him like that. That's just at the time they were going.
They were trying to be ahead of the curve,
right?
A little bit.
Absolutely. And at the time, they didn't have a franchise quarterback they were paying. Like Bradford had, I think he got $20 million when they signed him out there, but he wasn't on like a long-term deal. They had just drafted Josh Rosen, 10th overall. So outside of that, they were like, well, we don't really, have a lot of money that has to be paid to one particular player right now. So that was the guy they wanted to put that money in. Like I said, I personally didn't think he warranted that type of money. But Zeke and Gurley and Le'Veon, I'm like, all 3 of them dudes, when they're healthy, I'm paying them, period, because I know they're game changers. Those are the type of guys. It don't matter what offense you got out there. When you put those guys, you get nervous. Like, people joke about the Jets offense right now while Sam Darnold's hurt. They still have to key in on Le'Veon. They're looking at Le'Veon like, all right, where's he at? What's he doing? Because he's just that type of weapon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so on to the second around the league. And this one comes off of, I don't know how valid the report was, but Stephon Diggs trade rumors. So that got me thinking.
Oh, Lord.
GM Deke.
Okay.
We were talking about getting some receiver help before. So I'm going to throw out 3 names here that could maybe fit into the system or fit some type of trade.
Okay, let's hear it.
You tell me yes or no.
All right, let's hear it.
So first one, I obviously said it, Stephon Diggs. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
What are we giving up?
I don't know. So his contract, I think he's getting like 12 or 13 million a year.
Okay.
What do you think we would need to give up, and do you think it would make sense to do it?
Well, is
he that type of player that is worth it?
He could definitely help our receiving group. I saw rumors where Bud was available, so it could be like Bud and a draft pick. I don't think they just do a player for player trade for Stephon Diggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could do Bud and a draft pick though. Maybe that works.
What draft pick?
Shoot, for him, it's going a 2nd or a 3rd round. Period. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you were just trying to do a draft pick for him, you would need to give up a 1st round.
What about 2nd and 3rd?
You could do 2nd and 3rd, but I don't think Steelers Nation would be happy about that.
Why? I would.
Because they complain about everything. What you mean?
No, I'm good with that.
Like, gee.
I'm good with that.
Okay. All
right, next name, Emmanuel Sanders.
Bring him back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I think from what I was looking at with this contract, he's unrestricted after this season. He's a free agent. Okay, so 1 year rental. Okay. What you giving up for him? So that's assuming the Broncos are kind of like, our season's lost.
Uh-huh.
I think late round pick, maybe 4th round pick.
Oh, heck no, that's not happening.
What do you mean? That's not enough.
They wouldn't give him a full 4th round. It's not happening.
Even just on a 1 year, though?
They're not giving him a full 4th round, bro.
Okay.
I don't see it happening. Maybe a 3rd.
You'd be down with him coming back, though?
Absolutely. He could ball.
Okay.
If you could ball, you could ball. Up until, think about last year, outside of the Achilles injury, he was still killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, last one, Devontae Parker. Miami is...
give him the 4th round, you can get him for that, man.
You think?
I think so.
Well, then we should do that immediately, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you know what people are going to say? We don't have no draft picks, man. How we gonna build to the draft, man? This sucks, man. What are y'all doing, man? Fire everybody, man.
I wouldn't. I'm good with that.
Lord.
Getting Devontae Parker for a 4th round pick.
Okay.
On a cheap, like his contract's cheap too.
How many years he has left for there?
He just signed. I think he just signed a 3-year, $5 million a year contract.
Okay.
Yeah. He was never able to reach his potential down.
Well, do you think that Devon
takes the?
Do you think that he's better than Juju?
No.
Okay.
But as a second receiver, complimentary to Juju, take the top off the defense a little bit.
I'm hearing you, but I'm still seeing a fundamental flaw. So it's like, I don't even want to get into it. I ain't good. Okay. Yeah. I'll just say that for another day.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Last thing I wanted to say was Brady not practicing. It's not really. It's dumb. It's not really a big story, right. But he said it was something to do with age. Yeah. But then they're reporting it's a calf. Mm-hmm. So
hey, man, you know what?
No. Here's the thing. Like my just question to you is, it has to do with the Patriots. Like if you're not practicing, that means it's something, right? Something's seriously bothering.
Not necessarily. Like sometimes, in Pittsburgh, they'll give guys just days off just because they're older, and they want them to have a little more time to rest. In New England, they're weird with how they talk about their injuries. So honestly, I don't know. But if we're talking about is Brady gonna miss time, I highly doubt it.
No. Yeah. He's not
Even though you never know, man. X got put on IR for a calf. So you know what? Maybe Brady will get put on IR because of his calf. And it will be very good, man. Yeah. It'd be like when the teacher leaves and we got a substitute teacher. Now we can just have at it, man. So but I don't think it's anything into it, man. I think he's older. And if he has a calf that might be just a little tight, it don't have to be hurting. But some days you wake up yo, man, I'm a little tight. Or if you go run, for example, you're yo, I'm a little sore today. It could just be that. But New England, they're so weird. New England, they have times where they'll literally put every player on the squad on the injury report. Because technically every person is injured. Technically, when you start the season, everybody gets hurt. It's the difference between can you play or not. Yeah. But everybody has something going on. A finger, a knee, a shoulder, an ear. Every day, everybody has something going on, bro. Period. And sometimes Belichick likes to mess with people and say, you know what? Everybody's on the injury report today. Here, you go look at that one, look at that, look at that, look at that. So that's why I'm I can't even tell you, bro. That's just how they operate up there. They operate a little differently, man.
Because there was one year where Brady was always questionable.
Yeah, always. Right.
Every game
he's questionable. He's questionable. He's dealing with something.
Yeah.
And you're well, technically everybody's dealing with something. He hasn't missed practice, but he's questionable. Yeah, they do it like that, so that way technically they're not lying because technically everybody's hurt, and technically it's all disclosed. But you'll never know who's playing and who's not.
Yeah, I was just curious about that because it seems like they're way more strict on hey, people aren't going to be given practice days off and, trying to hide injuries. So I was just kind of seeing what was maybe going on behind the scenes there.
There's nothing into that, bro. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I know.
Unfortunately.
I know that.
Yeah.
So do we want to move?
Put them on IR.
Move to the bet of the week?
Let's do it,
here.
Man.
Right.
I don't even know what it is this week, man. You're surprising me.
I don't either.
What? Man, I thought you had this thing.
I don't have anything. And we're doing. Do you want to play the sound real quick?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm figuring because you already hinted to what it's gonna say. So let's just hear it officially, man. Give the people what they want.
So I'm gonna play this sound here, and we can do no points. I'll take the Rams over the Browns if you want to do that.
Well, I don't pick for anybody that's in the division, man. I'll take the Bills over the Bengals. How about that?
No.
Oh man,
I'm straight with this one. I'll roll with this one.
All right, no points. Chiefs over Ravens.
No. The 6. We went on Bovada. We saw the points at plus 6 for
gosh.
the Ravens.
I hate spreads. All right, let's do it. 6 points. And hopefully my quarterback doesn't get injured this time. Because that's what... There we go. So I stand corrected there.
Well, here's the thing. We talked about this a little bit after the last podcast. And
I stand corrected, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here. I was wrong. So I lost.
So I talked about this after the last podcast.
You did.
It didn't feel right.
Okay.
Because one, I thought I actually lost, and I forgot
I thought I actually won.
Like when we were at the game, I was like, "Oh shit, I lost! I gotta drink this hot
I was under
stuff."
the full impression that I did not say points.
And then I went back and I was like, "I think we did points."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "I won."
Yeah.
But then I was like, "This doesn't feel right because my team actually didn't win."
Okay.
It's not for money.
Get it off your chest.
It's for shame. So
talk about it.
I'm letting you off the hook here.
You heard him right here, ladies and gentlemen. He said he letting me off the hook. I don't even know if I'm gonna just go on while I'm ahead. You right. All right, cool.
Do we want the same consequences here?
I feel like we should. I feel like you want these consequences.
Okay, so we got New England and Buffalo both at 3-3. You want to do that one straight up? I know what squad you want.
And what squad is that, man? Talk about it.
You want the home team, Buffalo.
Oh, no. Oh, man. You want me to put my... Oh. Ah, that's rough. That's rough. Ooh.
It's up to you. Dallas, New Orleans. Teddy Bridgewater's playing.
Well, he bought out last game.
You could take New Orleans. I'll take Dallas. New Orleans at home.
I don't like New Orleans like that now.
Home.
I'm trying to hop on the Dak train.
I think so too. Yeah.
See, if it wasn't for hot sauce, I like these games. I don't like it for hot sauce shots, man. Jeez.
Minnesota, Chicago, both 2-1.
Oh man, I hate Minnesota, and I don't trust Trubisky. God.
Philly, Green Bay tonight. At Green Bay. I'll take Green Bay.
What? What? I just shouted out their fan base. I would have to go with Green Bay.
KC, Detroit, both undefeated teams.
All right, I'll take the Chiefs.
Let's see. Chargers, Miami. Giants,
Miami?
Washington.
Toilet bowl.
Honestly,
I guess I go Daniel Jones.
Tennessee, Atlanta. I know you don't like Atlanta. I'll take them.
Oh, man. I don't like Tennessee. I don't like Mariota.
You want that Buffalo game then?
I feel like that's got to be the one, huh? Is that the best matchups we got?
Like I said, Dallas, New Orleans, Denver, Jacksonville. Denver at home. I'll take Jacksonville.
You would take Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll take Minshew.
No Jalen Ramsey.
On the road.
Oh.
Denver's going to win that.
Sucks, bro. Oh, man. Oh, see, that Bills Patriots is definitely the most intriguing one, though.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
I'll take Patriots.
What? That's crazy.
What do you mean?
How are you just going to say you're going to take the Patriots?
Oh, I know you want to take the Bills.
How are you going to say I want to take the Bills? Like, where does that come from, bro?
You believe in them.
I could believe in them.
At home.
And I do think it's going to be a crazy game. I think it's going to be extremely close.
Right.
I'm not putting my hot sauce on them, though. Like, that's the difference. Like, if this was, hey, man, I don't know, I'm going to have to, like, wash your car, or I'm going to have to do this and that. Like, that's totally different. We're talking about taking a shot of hot sauce, bro. Like I really have to evaluate the situation here, man.
Here's the thing, though. You could see yourself as like a cat right now, having 9 lives, because I let you off the hook.
Worse, so I got 8 more lives. Man. Oh, you're really trying to talk me into this Buffalo Bills. Like,
I do Cleveland, man. Baltimore.
What other options do we got for bets, man?
Carolina, Houston, Oakland, and Indianapolis.
I take Houston.
Chargers, Miami. Yeah, there's not too many good matchups here. Seattle,
man.
Arizona. At Arizona.
Seattle. I'll go Seattle. You don't like Kyler Murray? You don't want a Kyler Murray, man?
No. Tampa Bay, Rams.
I guess I go Rams. James looks good, man. You know, James.
Yeah, there's nothing, man.
Oh.
I've named everyone thus far.
Jeez. Yeah, the Bills Patriots definitely the best matchup. I feel like the next best is probably, in terms of betting, just like the uncertainty of it would be Denver and Jacksonville, because they both pretty sorry.
Right.
But other than that,
so I'll take Jacksonville.
I don't want to go with Denver. It was a Flacco out there. Lindsey. Emmanuel Sanders.
At home. Or Baltimore, Cleveland. Baltimore's at home. I'll go Cleveland.
See, this is my only issue. I told you before. I never like to bet from. I don't like picking in my division. I just feel so slimy inside, bro. All right, you know what? Bump it, man. Bump it. The rubber got to meet the road one of these days, man. The rubber got to meet the road. You know how we do it, man. So, Bills, Patriots, Ravens, Browns. You say you take the Browns?
I'll take the Browns.
Where's the game at?
At Baltimore. I'm forfeiting points here. I guarantee Baltimore.
What's the spread for the Patriots game anyways? Did they have it up there or not?
We're just doing straight up though, right?
Yeah, I was just wondering like who they have.
It's got to be like 10 points probably.
Damn.
I'm guessing. It's the Patriots, dude. At least 7. I'm saying at least a touchdown.
Oh man, I want to take that bet. I like that game a lot. I just don't like it for the hot sauce, bro. That's my thing for the hot sauce. I'm like, I gotta feel a lot more comfortable with my matchup.
All right, hold on. Yeah, 7.5. 7.5.
That's disrespect. God, dog.
That Vikings Bears one's at 2. Bears favored by 2. That's
and what's that Browns and Ravens?
7. I'm forfeiting 7 points there. And then I guaranteed Broncos. So I'm giving you 2 options. I'm giving you Broncos got it by 3.
I feel like you hardballing me into this day, man.
I'm giving you 2 options for you could take favorites.
We got anything outside of hot sauce that we could do, bro?
Nothing on our minds right now.
God, dog. It's hot sauce, man.
I'm telling you got to look at it like you should be taking it anyway right now. But
You're right. You know what?
These NFL games, anything can happen.
I know. All right, you know what? Oh, man. I can't go Baltimore. I can't.
Okay. So that leaves Broncos or Bills.
All right, you know what? I'll take the Patriots.
Here
we go. Deal?
No. I'm good. I'm good on that. Well, actually, Cowboys are only favored by 3.
I'll take the Cowboys.
What's your pick?
I was going to go Patriots. Okay with you?
No.
I thought you trying to set me up here,
I'm
man.
not setting anything up.
All right. You know what? I just can't because I'm thinking.
If we want to like stick to the points thing, I'll even do Patriots with the points.
I don't want to do points.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, but this is my biggest issue. So for me, I'm thinking about when we got to post the bet picture and it has me picking the Ravens. I just don't like that. Can you put like the logo with like an X on it and say I just got that team?
Yeah, sure.
I just don't want you to say
I did that for me last week though.
What?
I put Ravens for me on our thing.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
I do. So like, put just the team from Baltimore. Put the Ravens over with an X on it. Okay. All right, and then say that's the team that I have.
Okay.
If we do it that way, I'll take that team.
Okay.
What
if I just put up a picture of Lamar and I put up like a picture of Baker?
That works.
Is that okay?
That works.
Okay.
Because I just can't physically say I'm going with the Ravens. I'm just, you know what I mean?
He's taking Lamar in that team. I'm taking Baker in that.
Yeah, I just feel so slimy. Oh,
dude, that's 7 points. I mean,
man, I got standards, man. I got morals, man.
So that's what it is. Browns Ravens. Going with another Ravens game. I'm taking the other squad though.
And what did I tell you last week? What did I tell you last week?
What?
In terms of the Ravens, I said I don't pick them. Right? I never like the Ravens. I never go with them, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just a setup to make me hate them even more,
7
bro.
Points.
I don't care.
Browns have been sucking.
I don't care. It's the Ravens. I don't like them, bro.
I'll take them at home.
I definitely don't like Cleveland. All right, man, bump it, man. You know what? The road, hey, bump it. Let's do it, man. All right, I'm going with Lamar.
All right.
You go with Baker.
All right.
Oh, may the odds ever be in my favor. Jeez.
All right, man. Yeah. So we still haven't paid up on any of our bets thus far. But
you're right.
We're getting to it.
We're getting to it.
Well,
man.
I tried.
You did try.
We were going for dinner one that was going to be taken care of, but we'll try to knock those out.
No doubt, man.
The hot sauce can be quick.
Yeah, very true.
We could get that one taken care of.
Very true. So for better or worse, it's going to happen, guys. So hey, we forgot to hype it up early on, man, but we got a special treat for y'all, man. For the listeners, man, we got an interview coming up with a very special guest, Hall of Fame running back. Came to Pittsburgh through trade from the Rams. Straight beast. Some people know him as the Bus. We just call him Jerome Bettis. You know what I mean? So hope y'all enjoy that interview, man. It's finna drop real soon for y'all.
Awesome.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. I know Deke is ecstatic. He can't wait. Childhood favorite right here, man. So it's gonna be an awesome time, man. So yeah, like I said, man, enjoy that.
Appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, indeed, man. Until next time.
Peace.
Man, so we tended to it. Now we got the man, the myth, the legend, NFL legend, NFL Hall of Famer, not only on the field, but off the field as well, man. Just a big dog in all that he does, man. The one and only Jerome Bettis.
Man, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, we appreciate you taking time to, like I said, stop by and hop on the podcast with us, man. No problem. Yeah, so obviously the Steelers made a big trade with Minkah Fitzpatrick, right? And we were thinking how you were a guy who came over through trade as well, man. So just talk about the process, man, from a mental standpoint. What is that like for you when you get that trade, when you get that call, and now you're part of a new organization?
Obviously I was in a similar situation as Minkah in the sense that he came from a franchise that wasn't winning, hadn't won in years. And so for me, same thing. I was coming from a Los Angeles Rams team that hadn't won in a lot of years. And then I'm going to now a perennial playoff team. Absolutely. and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a franchise that's history is great players, and so I was first of all shocked that it happened and surprised, but I was so happy that I was going to get an opportunity, one, to have a chance to play in the playoffs and have some success, but Absolutely. Two, ultimately have a chance to win a championship. Yeah. And as a football player, that's your ultimate goal. And you don't have to win one every year or win one at all.
At least be in the mix.
But to have a chance to win one,
Absolutely.
That's all you want.
And it's funny you say that too, man, because obviously me coming from Buffalo, I understand that sense when 100%, like you're playing and you're like, yo, we don't have a chance right now. Then you come to Pittsburgh and it's like, oh, every year we're in the dance. We're in the mix.
Right. We got a shot every year.
We might not win it, but we there.
But we got a chance every year. You go into that season with a renewed sense of optimism that, hey, we got a chance to do something special this year. It may not happen and we may not get there, but our goal every year is to win a championship. And early in the season, some places, I know when I was with the Rams, we were 1-4. It's like, okay.
Started out 0-8 in Buffalo, my rookie year.
Right. And it's like, man, we got to get ready for the offseason. And we're in the middle of the season.
Start shipping your cars now.
Yeah,
man.
It's tough.
So what was that time like for you? Because I heard that you told your family you were thinking about quitting football.
Yeah, coming from a program like Notre Dame, where my entire career, I think maybe we lost 4 games, maybe, and so to go from that to my first year, we went 5-11, 4-12. Yeah, I had individual success, but for me, it was never about individual success. It was always about a team game, team concept, and so the difficult part was having this individual success, right? But the team being awful. And I was conflicted because I come from being raised that football is a team sport. It's about winning football games. That's the ultimate goal, right? Mm-hmm. So that was the ultimate challenge for me. And so coming to Pittsburgh, I felt I could do both. I could have success. I could rip it up. But we could also win. And the two things weren't mutually exclusive. You could do both. You could have success and win football games, and we did.
Mm-hmm. I like that, man. That's major. Now, like you said earlier, man, in the intro, you being a Hall of Famer and everything, but now you're starting to see some of your former teammates getting that nomination as well, man. A chance to get in the Hall of Fame and join the Steeler elite, the guys who are in football immortality, so to speak, man. So just talk about what's that feeling like, man, seeing guys that you've played with potentially getting in that nod now.
So for me to be, kind of the first guy in this new wave of possible players to get in, it's a tremendous honor, first of all, to be in the Hall of Fame and have had the career that I had and to be able to represent the Pittsburgh Steelers and do all those things. And then to have the opportunity to kind of cheer on and root for my guys, because I got a chance to see all these guys from Alan Faneca to Hines Ward, Bill Cowher, and now Troy Polamalu. To see all these guys, I was in there, practicing with them. I saw their commitment every day to wanting to be great. And so, I'm excited because I know these guys are going to get in. It's not necessarily a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so I'm the biggest cheerleader right now because I know I'm not the only one. We had a lot of great players, and a lot of great players deserve to have their name mentioned with the greats of all time.
Absolutely,
so
man.
I'm excited to see who's next.
I like that, and I'm gonna like a lot to you, man. Being with Troy for 1 year, I'm over here like, man, you got to get in. Like, you're my first teammate that's really like, oh, you about to get in the thing. Like, like this is real. So, yeah, man, just thinking about you saying that, man, being a cheerleader, I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, because it's a crazy, just to think, like, that's the pinnacle of success from an athletic standpoint as a football player, man, to get in that Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and so you look at some franchises, they don't even have a player in the pipeline.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so to have a player that you play with that has a chance to go in the Hall of Fame, that's an incredible feat in of itself. So, all the years that I was playing with the guys that, I played with some really good guys for the Rams, but there was nobody of that caliber. So, I didn't have that to kind of look at and say, you know what? I want to look at this guy's game. I'm going to model my game, after him in terms of how he handles himself, how he goes to work every day. And so it was one of those things where I had to kind of figure it out and say, you know what? I'm not going to settle for just being average. I'm going to raise my level, regardless of whoever is going to raise their level. And so to see guys that I play with take it a step further and say, you know what? I'm with you. I'm
Absolutely.
with you. I got that. And then for them to take their games to another level and see what they're capable of, that's the true joy that I'm having, just hearing these guys being mentioned for the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
So you brought up Cowher. Was there ever a time you were scared of him?
Well, early on in my career, I wasn't necessarily scared of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as I was always understanding of the player-coach dynamic. I think a lot of times, especially in NFL, guys start getting paid, they're making money, and so that dynamic gets a little blurred. And so you think, well, he's my coach, but
right.
And I never had that idea, right? That I always knew that he's the head coach. I'm going to follow his lead. If he makes the final decision, I'm going to go with it, right? I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm going to go with it.
Where'd you learn that from?
I just learned that from high school, and playing football. I had a very strong high school coach, and his word was his word, and what he said, that's what it was, right? There was no question. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a democracy, it was a dictatorship. And so when I got to Notre Dame, it was a dictatorship. And so I always understood that the head coach, he's the leader of this team. And so I'm going to follow his lead. And so Coach Cowher was every bit of, alpha male in the sense that he wanted the team to be shaped in his likeness. And that's what we were. He was a tough, physical guy. He loved defense. We were a defensive-minded football team, and he believed in running the football, and that's what we did. So that gave us the ability to be a competitive team every single year. There was only maybe 2 years out of the 10 years I played that we didn't have a shot at going to the playoffs. And so that's just a testament to the type of coach that he was and what he expected and demanded from the players.
Absolutely.
I like that, man. And now, obviously the Steelers season hasn't been going the way that a lot of people wanted to go, in particular Steeler Nation, right? So for those that may be struggling, those that may be on the fence, those that are looking for a hope, just some type of motivation, we know you the guy that we come to. We the guy that we look for answers. So what would you tell Steeler Nation right now to just keep them motivated, to keep them feeling, secure in this team?
They have to understand that this is an incredible opportunity for all these guys that's out here. They have to understand that when you look at a Mason Rudolph, he has an opportunity to develop. Unlike most backup quarterbacks in the NFL, they don't usually get an opportunity until it's time for them to either start or, it's time to be cut. Absolutely. Because, we don't know really what we have. But we got to go with you because you're all we have. Mm-hmm. And if you don't pan out, then we get rid of you. He's got an incredible opportunity now to develop, also to have the tutelage of Ben Roethlisberger in his ear, and then have the ability next year to then go back and then be able to watch after he's played. And that's for a quarterback. That's a rare opportunity. Usually that doesn't happen. Once you start playing, either you play well or they ship you out of town. And he's going to have the ability to now play, get almost a full season, and then sit back and watch again. And so I think he'll have a unique ability to develop. James Washington, he's going to have a unique opportunity. He's now got his college quarterback as his professional quarterback. So now he's going to have a sense of comfort. Think about too, man. He's going to have a sense of comfort, him going out there and attacking. It's his second year. Time for him to make that leap into a full-time starter and a productive player in the NFL. Juju Smith-Schuster, he has an opportunity to become a superstar. Is he going to take the next step?
Absolutely.
James Conner has an opportunity to become a superstar. Is he going to take the next step? So for all the Steelers fans out there, we have, yes, it is disappointing, obviously, but we've got an opportunity to become a really good football team in the long term. And you've got a young defense that's developing. They're adding pieces to the puzzle. Guys are starting to really figure out what they're doing. And once they do, you're going to have a really talented defense for a lot of years. This is a very young defense.
Absolutely.
So they're going to have this core nucleus around for a while. So I would just tell you, buckle in, get ready, because you're going to see a really special Steelers football team for a lot of years to come.
I like that, man.
So with going back a little bit, the immaculate tackle, Big Ben, AFC divisional game. I don't know if there's anything out there on this. Did you ever get him a present or anything that happened between you two after that? Did you hook him up?
Well, what happened, it was one of those things where before that, he had promised me that we were going to win the Super Bowl, because that prior to that, we lost in the AFC Championship. He didn't have his best football game. He threw a couple of interceptions, and I thought I was going to be retiring, and I'm on the sideline, and I'm in tears. And he says, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't play well." He said, "I promise you, man, I'm gonna get you to the Super Bowl." So that was him afterwards saying, "Hey man, I got you. I told you I was gonna get you there." You know what I mean? So it was one of those moments where you say, "You know what? You got me," because if you didn't get me, it'd be an ugly situation. Man. I wouldn't be able to come back to Pittsburgh ever. So it was, I owe him for a lifetime, I'll tell you that
much. Yeah, that's funny.
That is.
Now, with your Bus Stop Here Foundation, you've been doing a ton of stuff in the community, both while you're playing and once you retired as well. You had one of the highest honors you could receive in terms of your philanthropic efforts as a player, winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. So just talk about where your inspiration comes from to be philanthropic, and also why do you continue to be so active now that you've retired?
Well, you know what, the one thing, and I'll tell you kind of the reason why, and then you understand kind of why I'm so involved and committed. When I was a kid growing up, I didn't play football until high school. And so I was really behind the curve, if you will, in terms of my football IQ. And so there was a man, his name was Reggie McKenzie. He was an All-American offensive lineman at the University of Michigan, went on to play for the Buffalo Bills, and then did some work up in Seattle. And he came back and gave a football camp every year in Detroit. And he would bring back the NFL players and we would get a chance to see him. And that's when I realized the possibility existed that I could actually be an NFL player. I saw him. I mean, one of the guys, a guy named Pepper Johnson, who was a linebacker that played for the New York Giants, he went to my same high school. Wow. So now he's there running the camp, and I'm saying to myself, here's a guy that went to the same high school I went to. He puts his pants on just like I do. I can do that. And so, he was the first person to really give me the possibility, understanding that the possibility actually existed. And not only that, he inspired all of the kids. He had this camp, he had a mentoring program, and what he did was he wrapped himself around the kids in that community, and he helped a ton of us. And so I wouldn't be here if it wasn't a person that was willing to give of himself and his time. So the way I look at it is it's only right for me to do the same and try to encourage and influence maybe that one kid that I can make a difference with.
Absolutely.
Because I know Reggie made a difference in my life.
Man, that's awesome, man.
So how would you view your career without a ring?
I would have viewed it as extremely successful, because as a football player, all you can do is your job, right? And if you excel and do it at the best of your ability, then that's all you can do. Now, you got to have a special team to win a Super Bowl. A special player is not going to win a Super Bowl. You have to have a special team. And that was one thing that had been eluding me for a lot of years. We had some really good teams, but we didn't have the special teams that you got to have. And there's that intangible that just comes. And you don't know it's there. You can't say, hey, we're looking for this. It just happens. And unfortunately, every year there's 31 teams that it doesn't happen for. So it's not a bad thing if it never happens. It's just something that it didn't happen to you. And you weren't on one of those special teams. So the way I look at it is, if I hadn't have, I would have went out there and said to myself, did you do everything you could have done to be the best football player you could be? Because I think it's really a combination. You become the best player you can possibly be, so that you can give your team the best possible chance to win a Super Bowl. And maybe that's not the case. It maybe doesn't happen. But your job as a football player is to you go out and do the best you can, so that you can help your team be the best that they can be.
Do you think the timing of getting it in 2005, where you weren't necessarily the guy like you were back in the 90s, means more to you in a way?
Well, it means more to me because I almost didn't get it.
Yeah.
It's like you've been waiting for years and years. It's something to get something in your second year and then get something in year 13, right? So, you get it year 2, maybe it doesn't mean that much to you because you don't know how hard it is to get it, right? So winning something in year 13 in the last year, I came to the realization of how hard it is to win a championship. It's not as easy as, hey, you just go out there and we win the Super Bowl and that's it. That doesn't happen that way. So by me going, 13 years and winning it my last year, I got a newfound appreciation for winning a championship.
That's awesome.
Well, and it's funny, man. You talk about, like you said, it doesn't matter if you have a ton of talent. Obviously, here in Pittsburgh, I've been on some of those teams where we had a ton of talent, but it takes so much going right as well, almost like a luck element that goes into
you
that.
You have to get lucky. I mean, you look at the year that we won, Ben making that play. I mean, that was luck because if you asked Ben to do it the next 10 times, he probably couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But that moment, that time, he made the play, and that was the difference in us probably losing and then winning the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
It's the details, the little things, man. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, we got a thing that we always do with all of our guests before we wrap up the show. Now, granted, this might have been a little while ago for you, but talk about your welcome to the NFL moment.
My welcome to the NFL moment was we played. I'll never forget. We played. We had one in. I had one in practice, and I had one in the game.
All right.
And so we're practicing, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I can't remember his name. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs for a bunch of years, and then came to the Rams. And he was a wily veteran, right? And so I was having a great camp, and I'm going through there, and I'm, laying it on the linebackers, and I'm a young guy, I'm a rookie, and so here it is. I'm in practice, and we had this one drill. We getting out, and now we live, and so it's like, okay, here it is. And so I'm thinking, I got him. I mean, he was a bigger guy. He wasn't like chiseled and stone and stuff. I'm like, oh man, this guy, I got him, right? So we get in there, we get going. I'm rolling, and I'm like about to lay some hammer on him. Bow, and he put that shoulder right in there, man. And I was like, boom. And it was one of those, I didn't say nothing. I just went on back to the back of the line. And he knew it. He was smiling. He was smiling at me. And I was smiling at him like, yeah, all right, yeah. I never did give it up to him. But I knew right there and there, I was like, woo. I got to be ready for everybody. Everybody. And then my welcome to the NFL moment in the actual game was, I'll never forget, we were playing the Houston Oilers, and they getting ready for that game, we had a goal line play. And the offensive coordinator was the great Ernie Zampese. So he's drawing up the play, right? He said, okay, boom, 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 we're going to go here. This guy here is going to be unblocked, right? All right, cool. No problem. I got him. No problem. Because that's a little safety over there. I got him. No problem. Well, it didn't really work out like that in the game. We got in the game. It's on goal line. And I'm going through, and I get it. I hit it. And I see the unblocked guy, but he wasn't a safety. Oh, no. It was a linebacker. And so I come in, and I see it, and I'm saying, oh, man. And it was an angle where I couldn't really get my pads on him. So I knew I was going to take the shot, right? And it's like, all right, just hold on to the ball, and you'll be fine, right? It's only a yard. So we get it, and I'm coming down the side, and I tighten up, and I see it coming, and I'm like, I got it. And he was like, yow, right? And he hit me. And so I went down, I scored. I fell in, right? But when I got up, I was a little woozy. I got up. I went on to the sidelines, right? And I'm like, because everybody's watching, right? I scored a touchdown. Everybody give me, yeah. I worked my way to the sideline. And I was like, oh, I fell out. And then I took my helmet off. And when I took my helmet off, I had blood on my hand. I said, oh, Lord. I said, you cut my neck off. I didn't know what was. I said, oh, man. And he had hit me, he had ear-holed me so hard that my helmet cut into my neck.
Oh, man.
It was just one of those moments. I was like, man. Yeah. So I immediately told my offensive coordinator, I said, man, don't run that play no more. I said, don't run that play, because it ain't a safety that's unblocked. It's a linebacker that's unblocked. Because what they did was they went in, and when they went to goal line, they put an extra linebacker in and took the safety out. I said, don't run that. So that was my welcome to the NFL moment.
That's awesome, man. Man, we definitely appreciate you coming in, man. Like you said, taking some time to hop on the podcast with us. Keep being great in all you do. Keep shooting your commercials. Like I said, man, I'm a big fan of the Geico commercial. You doing what you do, man. So,
man, thank you, man, and I appreciate you guys, man. Y'all keep doing what you guys doing, man.
Man.
And it's a great format what you guys do.
Appreciate
questions
it.
You're asking. So keep it up, man. I appreciate
you, man.
Thank you.
Well, shoot, man. That's it for the episode. Y'all definitely will enjoy it. So until next time, baby. Peace.